The rules for the day have been reviewed by each candidate, and the focal point today will be on seniors and other issues that the audience might find relevant. If time permits, candidates will be asked questions from the audience. Today, let's meet the candidates. I'll ask each of them to stand when I introduce them. Henry Lau, the PC Party of Ontario. Charif, the Independent Party. And Lisa Gretzky, the Ontario NDP. Also invited today was Chad Hiroshi, the Green Party of Ontario, and Teresa Perusa, Ontario Liberal Party. Unfortunately, they were not able to attend. At random, each candidate now will have a chance to introduce their platform, and starting off will be Helmi.
Hi everyone, I'm very honored to be here today. My name is Helmi Charif. I'm 46 years old. Together with my wife Kim Charif, we have 3 beautiful children, Ali, 21, and Mona, 15, and Jason, 10. We met at the American University of Beirut, where she majored in computer engineering and where I was studying political science. We immigrated to this great country, Canada, in 1991, where she completed her master's degree in computer engineering and I completed my diploma in automotive engineering technology. I was born and raised in a political household where my father and my grandfather before him served as mayors of our hometown. Naturally, I inherited their love, passion, and commitment to public service. It's something in my blood. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of the people is stronger than people in power. Believing that politicians should give, not take. Once I'm elected as Member of Parliament in Windsor West, I will donate 25% of my salary towards the healthcare system, education system, and other charities in Windsor West. We are all well aware that the economy and job creation are top concerns for many voters. Healthcare was ranked top, followed by job creation and economic growth and accountability in government. Other economic issues are prominent, as well, including the budget deficit, provincial debt, gas prices, retirement security, and electricity prices. Ladies and gentlemen in Windsor West, just like many people, I know how it feels when you drive hundreds of kilometers to seek medical attention due to lack of specialists locally. I have been doing this personally for 7 years with my ill son who has Crohn's disease. I know how it feels when you have 5 patients in one room. Because there is not enough staff, and you have to wait long hours in the emergency rooms to be seen by doctors, while $1 billion have been wasted on e-health lobbyists and executives and the public CEOs who collect 6-figure salaries. I know how it feels when our working families struggle, and especially single mothers have to work more than one job to make ends meet, and to put food on the table, and to feed their children, and to keep pace with inflation. Our wages just aren't keeping up with the cost of living. Whether it's home heating, gasoline, electricity, or groceries, while some are doing very well, and they collect more pay by January 3rd than the average person earns in 1 year. I know how it feels when you lose your job because it's been exported overseas. I know how it feels when our seniors, who invested their lives in the workplace, in the workforce, retire without dignity, without security, and with worry. I know how it feels when our children, the children with autism and the special needs, don't have enough resources. Ladies and gentlemen, every problem has a solution. Some people, they ignore it because of self-interest. Austerity measures should start with the people in power, not with the healthcare system and education system. Therefore, the solution is how to control the wasted money of taxpayers. Capping public CEO salaries will save us $80 million annually. Reducing our reliance on consultants will save us an estimated $500 million. Freeze the pay raise of MPPs and the premier salaries. Stop the handouts to friends and cronies. Scrap useless programs like Local Health Integration Network, LINS, which dispensing $21.7 billion in healthcare funding across Ontario. Reducing tax giveaways will save Ontario Treasury $1 billion a year, keeping in mind that we need to support government action that will stop making new laws and regulations that make it more costly to do business in Ontario, which in turn drive jobs out of the province. We need to improve the economic climate and attract investors to invest here in Ontario. And we need to stop shipping our natural resources like copper, nickel, and zinc, because these minerals will generate wealth for all Ontarians, which in turn will enable us to pay the debts, create jobs, and prosper our economy. We need to hire an ombudsman to oversee the performance of the government and be able to investigate hospitals, long-term care homes, school boards, children's aid society, universities, police, and retirement homes. We deserve a government that is transparent and accountable. We need to make sure to spend our money wisely in the front line of people's priority. I was honored to run in the last 2 provincial elections and receive your support for a strong second place. Thank you so much.
Our next candidate will be Helmi.
I would like to thank Life After 50 for putting on this debate. Thank you all for coming to watch. My name is Helmi Lau. Like many of you, I was a factory worker, a tool-in-die mold maker, and a business owner. As an immigrant from China 30 years ago, I have made my Canadian dream come true right here in Windsor. I'm very grateful to my parents and my older brother who had helped me when I started my life in Windsor many years ago. Now they are seniors. It is time for me to help them back. In fact, since 2004, 10 years ago, I have been a volunteer to help the seniors at the local community housing right in Windsor. Last year, when I was nominated to be the candidate for MPP in Windsor West, I know I have a new mission in my life. That is to become a strong voice for Windsor West. Today, Ontario provincial debt is near $300 billion. In the interest Ontario has to pay is near $1 billion a month. Ontario is on the wrong track. We need a change. We need a change that will give us a new PC government, is accountable, transparency, and able to lead Ontario back to the right track. Our Ontario PC Party 1 million jobs plan will help Ontario back to the right track. We will create 1 million jobs in the next 8 years by lowering the taxes, reduce debt, make energy affordable, train more skilled workers, increase trade with our neighbors, and to eliminate the red tape that stands in the way of job creation. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Lisa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin by thanking the Life After 50 for the opportunity to be here again today. My name is Lisa Gretzky. I am a mother, an entrepreneur, and a twice-elected public school board trustee. I am also the current vice chair of the public school board. As your MVP candidate in Windsor West, I am asking for your support on June 12th so that we can bring change that makes sense to this region. The NDP has a positive plan that will stimulate investment and the economy, create jobs, protect your tax dollars, and make life more affordable for you and your family. We have heard the Liberal candidate make promise after promise, but can her party really be trusted after governing under a cloud of corruption, lies, and waste? Orange, e-health, gas plants, the Liberals need some time in the penalty box, and in Windsor West, we can send them there. When I think about what we can do to make our community a place that makes sense for aging Ontarians, I think about building a community that is both affordable and accessible. A place where as we grow older, we are confident, that we can deliver core services effectively and routinely. I noted your slogan, be fit, be social, be well. New Democrats have a plan that can bring these pillars to life. Clearly healthcare is a priority, and I want to specifically outline the key aspects of the NDP plan to improve healthcare service delivery in our region, but we have to remain cognizant that healthy communities are affordable and accessible. Let me talk specifically about how the NDP would improve healthcare service delivery in this region. The NDP will reduce ER wait times by hiring 250 nurse practitioners to treat and discharge patients in the ERs and improve access to long-term care. And yes, we support the building of a new hospital in the Windsor, Essex area. Our plan includes the elimination of the wait list for acute long-term care beds. Our investment will create 1,400 additional long-term care beds, which will eliminate the entire crisis wait list. This will relieve considerable pressure from the hospitals and inpatient beds, allowing for faster transfer from the ER for those who require hospitalization. We will eliminate the list of 3,300 Ontarians waiting for personal support care workers. These clients will receive approximately 2 nursing visits and 7.5 hours of personal support per month. Our plan also eliminates the wait list of 2,800 Ontarians waiting for other non-nursing care, such as physiotherapists, social workers, etc. We will support families caring for the ill or elderly with a caregiver tax credit. Anyone who is a primary caregiver for someone needing help with basic functions like bathing, meal preparation, and receiving medical care will receive a credit of $1,275 per year. The credit is fully refundable and is in addition to supports available through our programs. And we will attract doctors to underserved communities by forgiving student debt. This will help bring as many as 250 new physicians to rural communities by forgiving up to $20,000 of debt per year of service. Liberals have mismanaged our healthcare system by wasting money on e-health and Orange. The PC plan to cut frontline workers from the healthcare system just doesn't make sense. On June 12th, you can decide on a party of scandal and corruption, one whose math just doesn't add up, or New Democrats who will invest in your health care dollars on frontline services and end long waits. Thank you.
You've heard each of the candidates' opening remarks. Now we will move through to the questions that were distributed to each of the candidates prior to today's meeting. At random, I will select a name, and that person will have the first one to respond to the question. Question number 1. This election campaign has included a lot of finger pointing by the leaders of all parties to the mistakes and scandals of past governments. Moving forward, what will you do personally to ensure that the taxpayers of Ontario have a government which practices a code of conduct of transparency, integrity, and fairness? Helmi, you're up first.
Thank you for the question.
2 minutes, sir.
Okay, moving forward, as I said in my introduction, I will hire an ombudsman to oversee the performance of the government and be able to investigate all the public institutions, like hospitals, long-term care homes, school boards, children and society, universities, police, and retirement homes. This will definitely improve the performance of the government and make sure that taxpayers' money is spent wisely and at the front line of people's priorities. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when we have irresponsible government, we have to treat it like a child. If your children do something wrong, you punish them to teach them that what they have done is wrong, so they can adjust their behavior in the future. Our Liberal government has been doing the same mistakes for years, and they get away with it. Why? Because there is no accountability. So it's time to stand up and hold this government responsible for their actions. Thank you.
Lisa?
I'll work alongside my fellow NDP introduce a Respect for Ontarians Act within 30 days of forming government. The act will close loopholes in the ban on partisan government advertising, give the Ontario Ombudsman oversight over health care, and ensure that a special independent prosecutor is hired whenever political staff come under police investigation. It's also important to note that through the Public School Board, things have been running along very smoothly. Myself and other trustees have managed to manage a $400 million budget that is always on budget. There's never a deficit. So we face difficult decisions every day when it comes to our education system and managing tax dollars and answering to those that elect us to those positions. So I think a great start is the Respect for Ontarians Act, and I will again stand beside my fellow NDP members and ensure that these safeguards are put in place so that we're all accountable to the people that have elected us. Thank you.
Henry?
The leader of Ontario PC Party, Tim Hudak, has pledged that any cabinet minister of the new PC government that engage in this similar liberal type corruption will be forced to step down from the cabinet. The PC candidates, including myself, have taken this to mean that no PC scandals will be tolerated. There will be no 1.1 billion gas plant scandal under the PC's new government. Recently, it was discovered that Ms. Catherine Wynne in her cabinet approved a secret payout to a private company with ties to the Liberal government for $317 million of our tax money. Ms. Bruza is a part of the cabinet that proves that this secret payout. You should ask yourself that what another scandals have Ms. Bruza and Ms. Wynne has been a part of we do not know about. And do we really want Ms. Bruza and Ms. Wynne to be a part of any scandal in the future? Thank you.
Thank you. The next question. Windsor is a designated age-friendly city by the World Health Organization with the community goal of becoming this country's premier retirement community. How will your party help our community overcome the obstacles and barriers that aging residents now experience? How will your party help change current practices to accommodate the celebrated and aging population? First one to respond to that is Helmi.
My party is the people, actually. I believe our seniors who invested their lives in the workplace should retire with dignity, security, and without worry. They should have enough savings to live on. The maximum CPP benefit is only about $11,000 a year, an amount that's not enough to live on. I think the government should implement a public, cost-efficient pension plan for all Ontarians without workplace plan, and it should protect all existing pensions. We need to make life affordable for our seniors by reducing their cost of living and elimination of the HST from their home essentials, like hydro, gas bills, etc. I think all levels of governments should cooperate to develop a strategy for affordable housing for older people in Ontario. Options like rent subsidies, shelter allowances, and rental protection. The government should eliminate barrier to health care institutions, particularly those with disability. Enhance education on the needs of older persons. Increase the number of health care professionals, and also support the construction of new long care facility beds. The bottom line, we need to save our seniors some dignity, independence, participation, fairness, and security. Thank you.
Next candidate is Henry.
Ontario PC has a plan that will help seniors stay in their homes longer. By offering more and better home home services and healthcare services that are close to their homes by improving frontline services. Our tax money should be spent on the frontline professionals and our patients, not the wasteful government agency like the e-health, where $1 billion of our tax dollars were wasted. Also, the Ontario PC Party has a plan to improve and clean up a long-term care facilities that the Liberal government has neglected for a long time. Finally, our million job plan is going to create jobs for your children and grandchildren so that they can stay in Windsor. In Ontario, you can see them more often right here at home. Thank you.
Lisa?
Thank you. By cleaning up Liberal corruption and putting an end to waste and spending scandals, New Democrats will ensure seniors live their golden years with dignity. We will ensure that seniors get home care within 5 days. New Democrats will support families that are caring for the ill or the elderly with the caregiver tax credit, and we will eliminate the wait list for the acute care, long-term care beds. New Democrats will improve health care for seniors by ending the Liberal legacy and wasting health care dollars on CEO salaries while they canceled physiotherapy sessions for seniors that were benefiting from the program. Thank you.
The last question that was distributed to each of the candidates is question number 3. There are many issues facing this region: improvements in infrastructure and roads, expansion of transit services, quality education for our children, health care for all, attraction of jobs and businesses, air quality, and now the famous Windsor Ave. If elected, is there a single priority issue outside of the mega hospital initiative that you personally would champion for this region? Henry?
Thank you. Jobs, jobs, and more jobs. By growing our economy, it will be my focus. We know that when growing apples, we need to plant the apple tree in the good soil. Likewise, to create more jobs in our economy, we need good soil to our economy. That is to lower our taxes, to lower the debt, to reduce the red tapes, to make energy price affordable, and more. We need all this good soil in our economy so that our local business can grow and create more good jobs. As a business owner into dying more business here in Windsor, I grew a successful business from 2 employees to over 60 employees. Right now, Windsor unemployment rate is higher than average in the province. Under the NDP Liberal government, jobs are driving away with higher taxes, thousands of unnecessary regulations, and very high hydro rates. The Ontario PC Party is the only party that has a plan to bring jobs back to Ontario. The Million Jobs Plan will help many of us right here in Windsor West. Thank you.
Next candidate is Lisa.
Thank you. I think it's very difficult to say that I'm a champion for one particular issue in the community. I think based on where you are in your life and what's going on in your life, you have different priorities. And I believe that it's the job of an MPP or any elected official to champion for all of their constituents, regardless of whether it's around jobs, whether it's around healthcare, education, childcare, whatever the cause is, whatever's important to the constituents at that time, and it would be different across all constituents. I believe that it's important to be a champion for each and individual person. So that's a really difficult question to answer, to narrow down to one. But I can assure you that jobs are a priority, healthcare is a priority, education is a priority. Everything that affects anybody in this community would definitely be a priority. Thank you.
Okay, my priority is the healthcare system. order to be productive in our lives, we have to be healthy. Our health care system faces many challenges. Long waiting time hours at emergency rooms, lack of specialists locally, lack of access to primary care, long wait for family doctor appointments, and shortage of staff. Ladies and gentlemen, I first-hand experienced the problems in healthcare system. Like many people, I have an old son who has Crohn's disease. He had 7 unsuccessful surgeries so far, and 2 weeks from now he's going for his number 8 surgery. Due to ignorance and lack of knowledge from some local doctors and hospitals who claims that they provide optimum service. Therefore, we have to enforce accountability in healthcare. We need to invest in real solutions, hiring more nurses and doctors and practitioners. We need to improve frontline services and patient care instead of wasting healthcare dollars on insiders, executives, and lobbyists. They're saying, I'm going to give you an example. At the hospital, they have a big saying. It says they provide optimum service. Once I was there, like my son had a surgery, I had to ask the nurse, how come you guys make the people wait? She said, we don't have enough beds. I went to the 2nd floor. I found the whole floor full of beds, and I took pictures. I went to the doctor. I told him, actually, a nurse told me that we do have beds. There's a floor full with beds, but it's empty. I went to the doctor. I asked him. He said, we don't have staff. So, you know, I'm with anything that benefits our community. They're going for a mega hospital. I don't mind this. I need a mega hospital over here. But the problem is they don't have staff. They need to hire nurses, doctors, practitioners. So we need to stand up. You know, politicians have failed us. It's your choice. You are the power. You are the source of legislation. Our people in Windsor West. We are the people. Thank you so much.
The candidates have answered the 3 questions that were submitted to them by Life After 50. Now we move on to the next part, which is an opportunity from each of the individuals in the audience to ask the candidate a question. Every candidate will have an opportunity to respond to the question. Is there any questions from the audience? Anybody have any concerns they'd like to address? Yes?
What is their time limit to respond?
They'll have, there's not that many of us here. Let's give them 2 minutes to respond. I don't think that they would take that long, but let's give them 2 minutes. Any questions? No questions? Yes, sir, you have one.
Hi, good day. My name is Gerald Davis. I'm here today. I've got a son named Jason Davis. He died in our community on Father's Day, June 20th, 1999. When an individual in this community on the methadone maintenance treatment program got angry and put it in our son's drink. They took his life. Jamie didn't do drugs. We didn't have addictions in our home. We didn't know what to do. We spent all this time speaking to police, doctors, Teresa Perusa, Kathleen Wynn, the NDP party. There was only one party that stood up and told us we're no longer alone. They just told us this at Christmas time. We've been threatened by police.
Do you have a question, sir?
Yes, I do. I'm going to get to the question. Okay. I know better than most of you in this room that your life is not as safe as you think it is, and you're not as protected as you think you are. My question for you, the panel, is what would you do to show me that this community is protected, that if there's any issues, life or death, like you said on June 6th, 70 years ago, these are the rights our children have been given by our forefathers. What would you do to help those in our community? Thank you.
I will direct the question to each of the candidates, but that might be a municipal issue, the police protection and that, but let's, and federally.
No, it's mandated by the legislation, it's policy, it's provincial government, they're responsible,
Sir, I appreciate
they're
the
supposed to answer for us, and now you're gonna tell me to, listen, The news won't put me on the news in the city.
Sir?
The
Sir?
lawyers won't
Sir,
help
I'm
me.
gonna have to
I've
ask
had
you,
25 police at my home in 5 days.
sir,
We did not commit any crime.
sir.
No
thank you.
crime.
Thank you, sir.
No crime. What do you
Sir,
think it's like being a father standing here by myself in this community of over 200,000 people?
Sir, thank you for your question.
So my question is, what will the people of the panel do to protect not just my family, but every member in this room and this
I will
community?
ask the candidate, sir.
That
I'm
Teresa
asking you to sit,
Perusa
sir,
and
please,
Kathleen Wynn are
sir,
not doing it.
sit down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. I will
Thank
forward
you.
it to each of the candidates. Thank you.
Thank you.
That random? Gotta get my sheet here. Helmi, would you like to respond?
Yes. I'm very touched by your story, and I'm sorry for your loss. If I'm elected, I will do my best to protect my community, and I'm very strict when it comes to drugs. I'm environmental activist. Myself, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything that endanger my life. So, of course, we will give more authority to the police to be effective in the community and to prevent all this stuff happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Henry?
The safety is very important to everybody in our community. Until PC parties commit for the services and the frontline people in our society, and when we have a government waste so much money, they are cutting all the programs, include the safety, that it is not tolerated in our PC government. So my answer to you is we commit to the best we can for the safety of every single citizen in our community under the new PC government. Thank you.
Lisa?
Thank you, and I too am sorry for your loss. I think it's important that the representatives in the community, the people that you elect, are accessible to the people that put them there. They have an open door policy and are willing to listen to all the concerns and to try as hard as they can, even if it's outside their jurisdiction, to work with the municipalities or the federal government to investigate when something like this happens and try to work with the families or the community members that are affected to come to a solution. I mean, I know there is no, in your case, there is no good solution. At the end, you've lost a family member. But I think it's important that the people that you elect are accountable to the people that put them there and always are accessible and are open to hear your concerns and work with you.
Thank you. Any other questions from any of the audience? No other questions? Yes, sir.
As to each of the candidates, how do I know that you're gonna be able to keep Windsor on the map as a part of Ontario? For years, Windsor's been known as not a part of Ontario. Each of you, the question is this: how are you going to keep Windsor on the map if you are elected?
Okay. At random, number 2 is Helmi.
Thanks for the question. I always hear that Ontarians in London or Surrey, I believe, and I've been here for 23 years. I feel that Windsor, yes, it is abandoned. We're not, it seems like we're not part of Canada or the United States because all the government services gets to Surrey and not to Windsor. But once I'm elected, even though I'm not belong to any party, so that's why I'm offering you a free and actually independent choice. So the people will be my party, as I said. With your help, we can make sure that the government will provide Windsor with all the services we need. And we don't need to beg the government for services because hardworking families that pay the taxes, and the government should deliver these services. We don't have to that. So, of course, yes, I will do my best to make sure that we have services here, and Windsor is part of Canada. Thank you.
Next candidate is Henry.
Windsor is a very unique city. I've been here for now 30 years, and this is my home. And I found this city has a lot of things to offer to our province. One of the area which is in my professional is a two-in-die, two-in-mo. And Ontario PC Party commit to the growth of this city by offering the policy for advanced manufacturing when we are getting elected in this election. So my job when become elected as MVP, I can make sure that my expertise in business and also two-in-die, two-in-mo business can be able to using our skill for the growth of our economy, for job economy, and certainly advanced manufacturing. It is a big idea for our region, especially for Windsor. We can have a lot of more jobs through this special policy through Ontario PC Party. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the question. I think it's important that the people that you elect and put in these positions bring a strong voice to the table. When you elect officials, even if they belong to a particular party, you have MPPs that still have differing opinions on certain things when they come together with their party. And I think it's important that you have a representative who's not afraid to say to their leader and to the other caucus members that this is what I believe is right for my community, and I'm going to fight to have that. When you have a strong voice at the table who's willing to stand up and fight in favor of your region, things get done. I think it's been proven through previous representation, through Trasnashak and Percy Hatfield. Being the third party, not even official opposition, we managed to rally with the community and save thoracic cancer surgery here. The girder issue is being addressed. I think it just shows when you have a strong voice at the table, regardless of the party they're with, they will fight hard for the community. We chose to live in this community. My kids have been raised in this community, and I'm hoping that someday, not too soon because my kids are still young, but someday my grandchildren will be raised in this community. And through my work at the school board, I've already worked for 8 years advocating on behalf of families, not just in the education sector, and I'll continue to do that.
Any other questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Everyone talks about healthcare, but we have our hospital that is understaffed, so we have the mega hospital on the table. How are you going to fulfill the needs at the mega hospital when we don't have enough staff at our own hospitals now? Like we have a family member waiting for an MRI, which is 2 to 3 months now, and they want to go to London to get better healthcare.
Okay. Questions dealing basically with the hospitals and the underfunding in this region and having to go to London for additional care, correct? Okay, the first one to answer that question will be Henry.
It is very important that we focus on patient-centered services in our province. Healthcare is so important to all of us in the province, and the tax money should go to the frontline people, the professionals and patients. Right now, under the Liberal government, they are not doing so. They have so many agencies over the agencies. They can able to waste $1 billion on just e-health, just one scandal. So if this $1 billion can spend on hiring more nurses and professional personal support workers, we can hire a lot of those people that helping the people. Right now the system didn't work for the people, but only for the agencies. So we need to change that. And Ontario BC government is committed to make our health system work for all of us here in Ontario. Thank you.
Lisa?
Again,
Closer to the mic, please.
Again, the NDP is committed to investing in healthcare. We have a shortfall in the healthcare system. We acknowledge that a new building is not going to fix that. If it's the will of the community through a process to have a hospital, we are fully in support of that. But the key is investing in the actual healthcare system. That needs to be addressed now. So we want to invest by putting in nurse practitioners, to creating more long-term care beds, decreasing the wait time for home care, and also 50 24-hour clinics. So those that aren't in need of immediate critical care have the opportunity to visit a clinic, a 24-hour clinic, and be seen and treated quickly. This will help alleviate some of the backlog that we're seeing in the hospitals. But again, the key is investing in the frontline workers, not cutting services. That's not gonna work. Thanks.
Helmi?
Thank you for the question. I think I addressed this. Unlike you, like, I'm wondering, we have a mega hospital and we don't want to have it here. How they're gonna make it work without staff? So as I said earlier, like, we need to control the wasted money of taxpayers. And if we can control this and apply this money in the front line of people's priorities, I think yes, we can hire more staff, we can hire practitioners, more doctors. If we cap the CEO's salaries, as I said, it will save us $80 million. If we reduce the reliance on the consultants' fees, it will save us $5 million. So if we apply all this money towards people's priority, yes, we can do well. We can pay our debts, we can make the hospital work. Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? Yes, sir. You're not with any particular campaign, are you, sir?
I am Mr. Charif, but my question wasn't talking about this topic out.
No, if it's okay, sir, I will allow your question. Yes, please go ahead. Usually I don't recognize the member of the campaign staff, but if you have a general question that you would like to ask, please do.
We can build hospital, right? And we can supply the top-notch machines. But how can you keep a medical specialist in Windsor?
Okay, I understood the question was, we're looking at specialized equipment and machines.
We can supply the hospital.
Yes.
And build the building. We can put less machines. But how can you keep a top-notch specialist in our city?
Attracting new doctors and specialists to our city with the specialized equipment that's required for hospitals, right?
We can bring the specialists, but after 1 year or so, they leave to London or somewhere else. What should we do to keep them here?
All right, that's I think everyone can answer the question. Okay. Again at random. Helmi, would you like to respond to that, please?
I think your question is how to retain doctors over here, so I don't have to drive from here to Toronto to Mount Sinai Hospital to take my son like many people. Yes, as I said, if we can invest in the healthcare system, and also I'm going to insist on controlling the wasted money of taxpayers and invest it in the healthcare system and pay these doctors, especially the specialists, and save them the machines that they want and everything. I believe we can retain them over here. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
As I mentioned earlier, the NDP has a plan to invest in doctors in underserviced areas by doing loan forgiveness or education cost forgiveness to doctors that would include specialized physicians. So when they go to another serviced area, they then will have their debt forgiven, and that's based on a year-by-year basis. So it's not that they've gone through school and they've got this debt, they're going to get a big lump sum, and there's no incentive for them to stay. For every year that they stay in that under-serviced area, they would then have a portion of their education costs forgiven.
So it's an incentive for them to stay.
It is an incentive for them to stay in an under-serviced area. So if there's a shortfall in a particular specialty in an area, and they go to that area and they stay there, each year that they're there, a portion of their education cost will be forgiven.
Okay, what can the specialists do after work and when they go?
Sir, last question, and the candidates will respond. I apologize for no further supplements, okay? Henry.
Thank you for the question. And as a business owner for many years, when I want to keep my top mold makers, and I want them to treat them well and pay them well, and they will produce for my company. Same thing in our system, we want to keep our top doctors in our city. We have to treat our doctors well. We have to respect them, and we have to have the right management from the professionals, not the agencies, the bureaucrats, the government agencies who trying to manage the professionals. We have the system right now that so many agencies, all the agencies hire from outside the profession to manage the professional itself. That is not effective. So in order to make our system work better for us, we have to improve our management system to have our own doctor to manage themselves. And Windsor is a great city, and I talk to a lot of doctors. They like this city. They have a lot of things that they enjoy about. And if we can able to offer them a little bit more about respect and about make them to feel this is their home and to perform for the citizens of our city, and I certainly that it will be the answer for improving our healthcare system from the bottom line. Thank you.
At this time, we'll move into closing remarks for each of our candidates. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to summarize their campaigns and why they should be elected for office. At this particular time, at random, Lisa.
Barb and our staff at Life After 50 for organizing this debate, and to all of you who came and attended, and for your insightful questions. We talked a lot today about issues, and clearly it's important for parties and candidates to outline their vision for the future during campaigns. But elections are about also very much about accountability. In fact, they are the ultimate democratic expression of accountability. The NDP has a solid plan to put Ontario back on track by creating jobs and improving access to core services. New Democrats will improve access to healthcare in our communities immediately, and I am committed to fully supporting the process moving for a new hospital in our region. I am also asking you to consider whether the Liberal Party has earned the right to govern. An NDP government will clean up Queen's Park and respect your tax dollars. The Liberals' time in government is literally defined by scandal and corruption. In fact, they made the headlines in the paper again today. In Windsor West, we can make a clear statement that we will not tolerate a corrupt and scandal-ridden government. The choice is clear in Windsor West. For generations, it has been a contest between the NDP and the Liberals. On June 12th, you can make a positive choice and hold the Liberal Party to account for their corruption and scandal by voting NDP. My name is Lisa Gretzky. I am your NDP candidate in Windsor West, and on June 12th, I hope you can count on your support. Thank you all.
Helmi.
Election day is coming. It's time for our people to have the right representation. We all know that our people have lost jobs and savings, and our families are feeling the squeeze, and our province is going the wrong direction. We cannot afford tax raise just to keep pace with the skyrocketing CEOs and members of parliament and ministers' salaries. Most people are struggling to get by with less, to make ends meet. All politicians have failed to reflect our views and concerns. We are fed up with the ongoing broken promises, therefore we need a change. Our politicians, they dictating our future, our lives. We need to stop them. We need to bring a change that puts people first and make life more affordable, a change that prospers our economy, a change that creates jobs, a change that meets our healthcare challenges, a change that makes education more accessible and affordable, a change that respects our seniors and make them able to retire with dignity and security. Therefore, I decided to offer you an independent choice in the upcoming presidential election. I will be your true voice to the parliament. I have no parties on my shoulders to tell me what to do and what not to do. It's your call. I will refer to you, our great people in Windsor West, and I will be the watchdog that will make sure your voice is heard and your issues are considered and classified as priorities. In order to do that, I will ask for your extreme support, and I'm looking forward for your votes. Thank you.
Thank you.
This election shouldn't be more spending promises, but job creation in growing our economy. We know we have a lot of issues in this province right now. Let us have Ontario make some money to pay for the expenditure first. Since 2003, Ontario tax revenue has been increased more by 40%. Yet it is not enough for the NDP Liberal government to spend and has to borrow $150 billion more for their spending in waste. This caused our debt double to nearly $300 billion. Our deficit is over $11 billion now. The Liberal has planned to increase more taxes and fees. Just the hydro rate alone, they will increase 42% more in the next few years. Can we afford more taxes? Can you afford 42% more increases of your hydro rate? Can Ontario continue to pay $1 billion a month in interest? On June 12th, for a better Ontario, a better future for our children and grandchildren, please vote Helmi now. Thank you.
You've had an opportunity to meet each and every one of the candidates. The candidates have asked, and the audience has asked questions, they have answered the questions. Again, I'll introduce them. This is Henry Ralph from the PC Party of Ontario. Charif from the Independent Party. Lisa Gretzky from the Ontario Independent. Two other candidates were not able to be here today, Chad Roche and Teresa Perusa. At this time, you'll have an opportunity to meet and greet with each of the candidates. Please have a coffee, please review the literature. Finally, what I would just like you to do is talk to your neighbors, your friends, daughters, sisters, mothers, fathers. Invite them to come out and vote on June the 12th, or whatever party. But get out and vote. We deserve that right. We've earned that right. Please exercise it. June 12th, vote for the candidate of your choice. And I'll turn it over to our hostess today, Caitlin, for closing remarks. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you again for coming out. I know it's a gorgeous day outside, so we appreciate you spending the time here with us to learn a little more and become really educated voters, so we all know what to vote on June 12th. And thank you to Lynn Adams for being our moderator today for our board of directors. And once again, thank you to our families. Enjoy the refreshments.
Thank you very much.
So nice we did it twice.
campaign going on right now, when you climb your vote campaign. I don't know if you've seen that. So what it is, it's actually a service product. It's a tell the screen where you want to find your ballots. It's actually a recording that you chose actively. Thank you. It's probably no, I know, but I mean, going forward, if you feel the same way. With that said, I want to ask the document. So what is it that doesn't really turn me on? We have a I guess. Okay. Yeah. So what is so yeah, you know, that's